I remember my very first meeting with my now girlfriend very well. We met in an ice cream shop. I remember that she suggested that to me and I said, okay, I like ice cream too, let's meet. And I was very surprised of her personality because she was very bubbly, very cheerful, talking a lot, and I was not used to that. Normally Indonesian girls are very shy, very like you would be on your first date, right? Even me as a man, I'm kind of more reserved when I would go into my first date, but she was very outgoing, high energy, so at the end of the day it was good for me, because I can deal with these kind of women better than with a girl who is just talking nothing, just sitting there and is shy all the way. But later when we continued to meet and date, I remember that situations came up that when I was talking, when I was not talking and just listening, and sometimes there were situations when both were not saying anything, and then the question came up. She asked me, am I boring you? And this was not the first woman who asked me that question. And I want to talk about this in this video because I think it is important for those of you who are dating Indonesian women or want to date. I think this is something I want to bring to your attention. This thing, am I boring you? I think any woman around the globe has these kind of thoughts, right? Because she wants to also impress the man somehow with her personality. I think we can agree that all women kind of tick similar. But in Indonesia, I noticed this is a little bit more the case than in other countries. And since this now happened a few times over the course of dating Indonesian women, I thought I will talk about this today. So the question, am I boring you? Is actually very interesting because it showed me, or it shows me, or it shows us that also women actually want to present themselves from their best side, right? So they also want to impress us, It's not only men who want to impress the women. Men should also know that women also actually want to impress men, So this question, am I boring you? I received, as I mentioned, a few times. So I was wondering, what are they talking about? You also have to know that I am a kind of an introvert, I don't need to talk all the time, I use YouTube if I have the feeling to talk. And my videos can get long, but it's not because I'm so talkative or I want to be important. It's just, I think the matter, the case, the story is important. And when my girlfriend was or is talking nowadays, I enjoy it, I listen to it, it's entertaining also, but I don't need to talk all the time. And then the question would come up, am I boring you? You're so quiet, what is wrong with you? What is something with you? Is it because of me? These kind of things. This question, am I boring you, is insinuating that she has already started thinking and is now insecure about herself because she might be thinking, maybe the guy, he don't like me, that's why he is quiet. And certainly, when we feel bored with something or anything, we are not really on a high energy level, right? We kind of shut down, we are disinterested, we lose interest, and then we are not interested. And you can see it, you can see the mood in somebody's face, So people pick up on that actually very, very quickly. So my girlfriend was the same, but what I did, I eventually discussed this with her, I talked it out. And this is also something I advise you to do when you meet Asian girls, Southeast Asian women, if you are a Westerner. especially in the beginning of the relationship, talk things out, communicate very well and explain. This is what I've been doing until today. I've been explaining to my girlfriend various things, why I behave the way I behave, why I not behave the way maybe she might be expecting me to behave. And many times it has to do with my cultural background, with my upbringing, with my Western mindset, you know. This would probably also an interesting topic to talk about in the future. Our Western rational, logical mindset compared to the more intuitive, feeling mindset of, let's say, Indonesian people. But it also applies to the Philippines and Thailand and other Southeast Asian countries. These nations are more, I find, intuitive, you know, they go by their guts and by their feeling, by their heart maybe a little bit more. And we Westerners, we are so rational, so objective, you know, especially we Germans, you know, we are like, you know, like soldiers, you know, like, you know what I'm talking about for those of you who are dealing with Germans, right? Can be a good thing, but also can be a bad thing maybe. So yeah, and I eventually discussed this with her, and I explained to her that I'm not bored at all. I'm just the way I am. That's me. I'm an introvert, you know, I don't need to talk all the time. So you don't need to worry if I am quiet for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, okay? Because sometimes, and that's what I told her also, I enjoy silence and solitude, you know. But of course, I also had to explain that to her, because as soon as I said I like solitude also, sometimes, then she also got afraid, because she thought, oh, don't you like me? Don't you like my company? You know, am I boring you? And this kind of questions came up again. So constant communication, clarifying and explaining works. Goes a long way to sort these miscommunications and these wrong assumptions and these wrong expectations out. We need to sort them out. And I assured her that I'm not feeling bored. You know, yeah, sometimes she talks a little bit too much, but you also can tease her a little bit. You don't need to say, shut up, you talk too much. And that's not nice, that's not gentleman, that's not polite, right? But you can like do it in a teasing way, you know, and something like that. And by doing this, by communicating this with her, and also telling her that you don't need to entertain me, you know. I don't expect that from you, and you don't need to do this. You don't need to constantly entertain me. And this is what she tried to do in the beginning, you know. Of course, she was talking a lot, cracking a lot of jokes, always being bubbly. Let's go here, let's go there. Do you like singing? Do you like dancing? Do you like drawing? Let's go to a drawing event. Let's do this, let's do that. I was just thinking like, oh my God, you know, when is this woman ever calming down, you know? I'm not interested in all these kind of things. But eventually I communicated this to her, and I said, you know, baby, you don't need to entertain me. I don't need that. I don't want that. And something very interesting actually happened. She told me that she actually felt very relieved when I told her that, because yeah, she was insecure, you know, and she thought she would need to entertain me. I don't know why, to make me happy or to keep me feel alive or to keep me interested probably. And she said, oh, thank you so much for sharing this with me. And now I know who you are. I know you a little bit better. And oh, thank God, I don't need to entertain you all the time. I can just be myself right now. And that was actually a very interesting statement of her, that she said, now I can be myself. I don't need to act something out. I don't need to be a Hollywood actor here and always be the entertainer and the clown and things like that. So yeah, she put herself also under pressure. And once I told her that she don't need to do that, she felt a great relief, and it made her feel way more secure, and she told me that, you know, she told me, Marcel, I feel way more secure now because I know I don't need to pretend to be somebody else who I'm actually not am. I can now just be myself, and that gave her the security to just be herself. And this is when I think we all feel comfortable the most, when we can just be ourselves, because then we are relaxed, you know, we are natural, we are like we are, and then we feel confident also and very comfortable. So by communicating with her, and I have been putting great emphasis on this communication. I always tell her, let's talk about it, let's talk about it. Sometimes she is shying away of certain things, but I am always for talking it out and discussing things and clarifying things. Also, Indonesian women are by nature very caring. So they are always a good Indonesian woman, a caring Indonesian woman will always be concerned with your well-being, okay? Maybe more than any other woman around the planet, around the globe, I don't know. But they are very caring women, so they will ask a lot of questions. Honey, are you okay? How do you feel? And this and that, you know? And sometimes, maybe it gets on my nerves, maybe it's a little bit too much. I think just 5 minutes ago she asked me the same question. So it is just their nature, you know, they don't do this because they want to bother you or to bore you or to get on your nerves. No, it is really natural care. They are really concerned with your well-being. This is what a normal, good Indonesian woman is all about, okay? And they take things personally, you know, they're very sensitive. Therefore, probably this question in the beginning of our dating process, that am I boring you and this and that, because she is also, you know, she put out her antennas and is in receiving mode. She wants to, you know, interpret my signals and all this kind of stuff to find out who I take, what I think, what I feel, and this and that. And I know we all do that. Men and women do this also, especially in the dating process. But Indonesian women, I think, are very sensitive also in this matter. So, conclusion, again, I mentioned it already a few times throughout this video. In my opinion, the most important thing is, especially when you are coming from a Western background, from a Western country, and you are dating an Indonesian woman inside of Indonesia, you have to really talk a lot, you know, and communicate and clarify and assume that you will have discrepancies and difficulties and differences in the way you think and feel and view certain things, you know, because you have to just understand and know that your upbringing is in many parts way different than the upbringing of an Indonesian man or woman. Doesn't matter man or woman. It is a different culture, and just because nowadays you can just easily travel to Indonesia, or Indonesians can easily travel to Western countries, and you can easily buy a McDonald's and a Gucci handbag and maybe even a Lamborghini in Indonesia, it does not mean that Indonesians are westernized in their mind, in their mindset. You know, as a matter of fact, I received tons of comments concerning a video which I released a few weeks ago, which was about, in that video I was explaining that not all Indonesian women want to live abroad or work abroad or even stay abroad. Indonesians, they love their homeland. They want to go back to Indonesia one day if they are now currently working in a foreign country. And so they are very much connected still to their homeland and to their families. You know, it is a different mindset than our Western mindset. And this is what you need to do. You need to discuss things, you need to clarify, you want to communicate. And one last tip for the girls here, for the Indonesian girls, if you are about to date a Western man, or if you're thinking should I date a Western man or not? You know, maybe this idea crossed your mind. Also know, yeah, that the Western men also are nervous when they are going into their first date with an Indonesian woman. And I made videos about it, you know. Most of the men, unfortunately, are always concerned with how to impress the woman, you know. So also they are caught up in this kind of a mindset and thinking. They are nervous, as I mentioned, and they are constantly want to impress. So don't think that all these Western men are very confident and relaxed and you don't know what to do and you therefore feel just shy and insecure. I mean, we all are feeling insecure when we are going into our first date, right? But I just thought this is useful for you, yeah, for the Indonesian woman. Always keep that in mind. Western men are also nervous. They are way more concerned with impressing you than probably you with impressing him. Yeah, so... And with that being said, I'm checking out already for today, only 16 minutes. Wow, I'm proud of myself. Yeah, thanks for watching. I'm looking forward to your comments. Let me know what you think. I would also love to hear, especially from Indonesian women, what they think about this topic today. Am I right? Am I wrong? I know every woman is a little bit different also, but this is what I picked up, what I have observed while dating in Indonesia, and I found it interesting because I was not aware that women have these thoughts, you know, and maybe other women in other countries don't have these thoughts, you know, like, am I boring this guy or not? I think they have these thoughts. But they are just not voicing it out. And the Indonesian women were the first to really voice it out, asking me this question. I was completely confused, you know. But at the end of the day, it helps me to understand Indonesian women much better and how they tick and how they think and actually what they feel and also what they are concerned with. So I found it very interesting. I learned something, you know, and now hopefully I'm a little bit wiser and smarter. And yeah, I'm gonna see you in one of my next videos. Take care. Bye bye.